The House on Hollow Hill, Part 1 asterisk. Always thought that old houses had stories. You know, the kind of places where every creak in the floorboard sounds like a whisper from the past. But this one didn't just have stories. It had secrets. It started when my wife, Emily, and I inherited her grandmother's house in Vermont. The old woman had passed away quietly in her sleep, or so they said. We were both teachers, middle school English and history, and we figured it was the perfect opportunity to get out of the city for a while. We packed up our things, left Boston behind, and drove 3 hours north into the mountains. The house sat at the edge of a small town called Hollow Hill. Not many people lived there anymore. The main street had a gas station, a diner with peeling paint, and a church that looked like it hadn't seen a service in decades. The house itself was beautiful in a haunted kind of way. 2 stories, wraparound porch, ivy climbing the stone chimney like fingers trying to reach the sky. Inside, everything smelled like dust and cedarwood. There were old photos on the walls, black and white. Portraits of stern-faced relatives, all looking down like they knew something we D-I-D and single quotes T. Emily loved it. Said it felt cozy. Me? I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. The first night was fine. We unpacked boxes, made dinner, lit a fire. But around midnight, I heard the sound, a soft tapping, like someone gently knocking. On the window. At first, I thought it was the wind. We were on the 2nd floor, though, and the nearest tree was 20 feet away. Still, I told myself it was nothing. Then it happened again. 3 quick taps. Then silence. I got up, walked to the window, and pulled back the curtain. Nothing but darkness. But then I saw a shadow moving across the yard. Tall, thin, not quite human. I blinked. It was gone. I didn't tell Emily. She would have laughed it off. Besides, maybe I was just tired. Maybe I imagined it. The next few days passed normally. We explored the town, met a few locals. Everyone was polite but distant. They'd smile, nod, but never really talk. When we asked about the house, they changed the subject. One evening, Emily found an old journal in the attic. Her grandmother's. She read through it late into the night while I tried to fall asleep. Around 3 a.m., she woke me up. She wrote about him, she whispered. Him. Who? The man in the woods. I groaned. Come on, Em. It's probably just a folktale. She handed me the journal. Flipping through the pages, I saw entries dated back to the 1940s. Handwritten, frantic. He comes every year, always around the same time. He stands at the edge of the trees and waits. Sometimes he knocks. Sometimes he whispers. Last year, Mrs. Greer disappeared. Her husband said she just left, but I saw him watching her house. The night before, don't open the door if you hear him. Don't answer his call. If he sees your face, he'll come inside. I closed the book slowly. My hands were shaking. Emily, this is insane. I know, she said. But what if? It's true? We agreed not to talk about it, to pretend it was just the ramblings of a paranoid old woman. But deep down, I think we both knew better. The next week, the knocking started again. Every night, exactly at 3:07 a.m., 3 soft taps on the bedroom window. And each time, when I looked outside, the figure was closer. Now, it stood just beneath the window. Head tilted, watching. I stopped sleeping. Emily started having nightmares. She'd wake up screaming, saying she could feel someone breathing on her neck. Then came the voices. Late at night, coming from the hallway, whispering in languages neither of us understood. At first, we thought it was the wind again. But the doors were sealed. The vents were clean. One morning, Emily didn't wake up. I shook her, called her name. Nothing. Her skin was cold. Too cold. The coroner couldn't find a cause of death. No trauma, no toxins. Just gone. They said it was stress, grief, something psychological. But I knew better. That night, the knocking came again. Only this time, it wasn't at the window. It was at the front door. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. And then a voice, soft, hollow. Let me in. I didn't move. Another knock. Your turn now. I grabbed the journal. I needed answers. I flipped through the last few pages and found one final entry. If he calls your name, do not respond. If he enters, do not look at his face. If he touches you, it's already too late. I dropped the book because downstairs, the front door opened, and I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. To be continued. The House on Hollow Hill, Part 2 *. I stood frozen in the hallway as the footsteps climbed the stairs. 1, 2, 3. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Each step creaked like a groan from something ancient, something that had been waiting for this moment. Far too long. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. My breath came in short gasps. The journal lay open on the floor behind me, pages fluttering slightly like they were being turned by invisible fingers. Then the footsteps stopped. Just outside the bedroom door. There was silence, a long, unbearable silence. And then, Jared. My name, spoken not in a whisper or a shout, but in a voice so hollow it felt like it came from inside my own skull. I squeezed my eyes shut and pressed my back against the wall. I remembered what the journal said. Don't respond. Don't look at his face. If he touches you, it's already too late. Another voice joined his. Emily's single quotes s. Soft, gentle, loving. Jared, come here. I opened my eyes. She was standing in front of me, not a ghost, not a hallucination. Real. Her hair fell around her shoulders, the way it always did after she woke up. Her eyes looked into mine with warmth and affection. Everything's okay, she said. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I reached out instinctively, but stopped, just before touching her. Something wasn't right. Her skin didn't look quite solid, like light passed through her ever so slightly. And her smile, there was something wrong with her smile. Too wide, too still. You're not real, I whispered. I'm more real than you've ever known, she said. Come with me. Behind her, the bedroom door creaked open on its own. Inside, the room was dark, even though the moonlight should have poured in through the windows. A cold mist rolled across the floor, thick and unnatural, and standing at the foot of the bed was him. The figure from the yard. Tall, thin, faceless. He tilted his head slowly when he saw me. And smiled, not with lips. There were none, but somehow I knew he was smiling. Emily took my hand. Her touch was ice. The second our skin met, a wave of memories flooded into my mind. Images, sounds, voices, not mine, but hers. Her childhood in that house. The first time she heard the knocking. The night her grandmother disappeared. The man in the woods watching her grow up. And finally, the moment she died. Only she hadn't died. She had opened the door, and now she belonged to him. I screamed and pulled away. The illusion shattered. Emily vanished in a burst of black smoke. The room returned to normal, if you could call it that. But the tall man was still there. Motionless. Waiting. I stumbled backward, grabbed the journal, and ran downstairs. The front door slammed shut on its own. Every window locked itself. With a metallic click, I was trapped. From upstairs came a soft sound. Laughter. Low, grating, inhuman. I flipped through the journal frantically, searching for anything that could help me survive. And then I found it. A final entry, written in shaky handwriting, almost like it had been added in a panic. He feeds on fear. He grows stronger with every nightmare. But if you make it past sunrise, he must return to the woods. Until next year. I checked my watch. 3:45 a.m. I had just over 3 hours. I barricaded myself in the basement. Stacked boxes, furniture, anything I could find in front of the door. It wouldn't stop him, but maybe it would slow him down. I sat in the dark, clutching the journal like a lifeline, and waited. The house creaked above me. Sometimes it sounded like footsteps, sometimes like whispers. Once I swear I heard Emily crying, but I stayed silent. I didn't answer. I didn't move. Minute by minute, the darkness began to fade. The faintest hint of gray light seeped through the cracks in the basement. Ceiling .4:30.5 :00.5 : and then silence. Complete and utter. Silence. No wind. No birds. Just stillness. I waited another hour before cautiously climbing the stairs. The front door was closed, locked from the inside. The house was empty again, but something was different. The air felt heavier, like it remembered everything. I packed my things that morning, left the house unlocked, and never looked back. I tried to forget about it. Told everyone Emily died of grief, that I needed time alone, but the nightmares came back. Every year. Always on the same date, and always ending the same. Way. With a knock. 3 soft taps, and a voice saying my name.